Good morning. It's me again. Still morning. Still the rapture. Still here. Okay, so after I did the other video, the one that I just completed, I made another coffee because, boy, downloads just coming in. Okay, so before I forget, oh God, what order? Okay, well, as I was doing the other video, I was getting downloads that didn't seem to be tied in at that moment. But what I heard and saw was the reflection and the confession. So we'll get into that, but let's put that to the side. And then as I was making my coffee, Spirit came in, thunderous drums, the rolling, what is it, timpanis? I don't know, rolling drums, Enya's Sail Away. So who's my little Enya lover here? And then, oh, and blueberry ricotta pancakes. So who do I have in the crowd that loves blueberry ricotta pancakes? Loves you some Enya. Who doesn't? Sail Away, that Orinoco Flow is always on my playlist. I fucking love that song. I grew up on that shit. Oh yeah, Enya. And can we talk about Enya for a hot quick sec? So smart, so strategic in her career. Really put out those banger albums, very rarely toured, if at all, bought a castle in Ireland, and then has just lived in it quietly and peacefully and out of the limelight for years with her cats. A lot of cats. You know I approve. Ugh, that's a 10 out of 10. A 10 out of 10, as if we're gonna go even lower. I always at minimum start off on a 900 out of 10. Oh, that was like a slap to the face to Enya. Sorry, Enya. No, you're like a 9 million out of 10. Okay. So going back to the reflection and the confession. So a few videos back, I had mentioned that one of my big pet peeves that just, it's like my spiritual cross to bear. Like when God needs to humble me, God just sticks slow-moving, mindless people out on the sidewalks in droves, and then they bump into me as they hold their phone in their faces, and then they get snippy with me, and it drives me. Just, if any of you know Slayer, and I don't even know Slayer that well, I just know, I think, what is it, Rain of Blood? It like comes in super heavy, and then he only has one note that he can scream, but he always hits this one magnificent scream. That's me with slow-moving, mindless people out on the sidewalk. Anyway, but what Spirit pointed out to me was bringing to my attention that when I do my own little rituals and things for myself, that one of the things that I like to invite more of into my life is patience. And so Spirit was showing me, and what I was saying the other morning is that what I've realized is that when we either know ourselves to be a certain way, or we're claiming it, or we want to be more of a quality, you have to think about Spirit. Then basically it's like Spirit yesterday was showing me it as a talent concert where all of your Spirit team is like, oh my God, yes, you're saying you are a Mother Teresa. You are endlessly patient. You are patience itself. Yes, and now it needs to be demonstrated. This is your talent, so we're going to give you a center stage. We're all here for you. And so think of yourself as every single person, though, in the talent show. So there's different stages. You know, when you're like watching a talent show and all the little peanuts are doing the routines, and some of them are incredible, where you're like actually like, oh my God, that was spectacular. This kid, like, my God. And then some of it, you're just like, you're the parent, you're like, oh my God, I love them to pieces. This is hilarious. They're not killing it, but they don't even need to because it's brilliant. We love them. It's beautiful. You're just perfect. So you got to think of your Spirit team as like that. They're all the parents in the audience where it's just nothing but love and support. So even if you don't nail it, you know, sometimes we don't nail it, but you have to see it as an opportunity. It's just about you getting to demonstrate what you say you are. So if you say you're a Mother Teresa, like, do you ever notice this? Because here's the other example that Spirit showed me the other day. I was out grocery shopping, or I was doing errands. I don't know where I was. Probably was grocery shopping. Anyway, doing some banking, going into the old app on the phone, and this always happens with me in technology, but it just decided that it just did not want to work. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? My guy. That kind of shit, like technology for a Gemini, that kind of shit, again, drives me bananagrams. So I was getting a little bit fussy. And then Spirit chimed in and was like, it's a demonstration. And so, again, my spiritual cross to bear, I had to pull it together and to be like, yes. And so I chose to try something new. Or not new, but to remember in the moment, to be like, again, let's put this, to see if this is what it's about. So I was like, thanks, app. Thanks, my banking app, for giving me the opportunity to demonstrate patience. I'm going to be patient about this. Hand to God, after 20 attempts to log in, and it just was like, we're blah, blah, blah. Like, as soon as I said thank you, you're reminding me about my patience. Totally fixed. So I say this because when I was doing the video this morning, oh my God, it's so funny. Every time I start talking, Spirit's coming in with those drums and Sail Away when it takes off into the chorus. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, Sail Away. Does someone want to sail away? Okay, let's put that to the side. So yes, the demonstrations, the confession and the reflection. So I saw someone just sitting with themselves. Do you ever have these moments where I call it like the really real moments, where sometimes you really, really remember that you have to die in this life and you're like, oh shit, Cinnamon. Like, you know, like it's like the veil gets lifted and you're just like, the truth of what is in the moment, you're like, oh yeah, I gotta die. Or like, oh yeah, you can just be really real with yourself. There's just kind of this very neutral but very honest truth. So Spirit is showing me someone sitting with themselves, and this, you are just honest. And so what Spirit though is with the confession is like treating whatever room, like when you're by yourself, wherever you are, treat it like a confessional. Because they kind of actually showed me like going to church but without the priest. And without even really God. It's about the conversation with self. Of getting honest with yourself and asking, like, what was it yesterday? Because I applied this to myself. It's how it all started. I was going for a walk and I just got, I don't know, I feel like I'm really honest with myself a lot of the time. But it was just like, I don't know, my energy just felt different. And I was like, okay, let's take a walk, let's evaluate, and let's just have an honest look at things. But what was the actual question? I guess it was just the truth, like, but hard truths that you don't want to like necessarily look at. I don't know. I forget how I phrased it yesterday. And this ties into, so the other day I talked about my big fat crush for Gillian Anderson. And then which led to me looking at some YouTube interviews with her, which was really about her book release, where she handpicked, she had women from all over the world write in basically their fantasies, like what it is that they wanted and desired sexually. And then she handpicked out of, I think it was like 836 letters, she picked like 100 and something. And so a lot of the interviews were around this. But the biggest theme that kind of came up was like, you kind of have to start off again with curiosity, because you're asking yourself, like, what is it that I desire? Like, so do I even know what I desire? You know, so just kind of starting there, like, what is it that I actually fundamentally desire and want? And then depending on the answer, because it's going to kind of lead in a couple different directions, but will still lead to the same. But you're asking these questions, and then it's like, if you don't know what you desire, then, okay, you start with that. But if you do know what you desire, do you get to enact that? Do you feel like, I don't know, there was a lot of stuff. I would highly recommend going and listening to any of the interviews around her book, because I think it's applicable especially to women, but for all of us. And it doesn't have to just be around sex. But there's something here about, I don't know, taking a real intentional moment with yourself and treating it like a confessional. Be like, what would I confess to myself right now? Like, the truth of everything. Like, the truth of how I feel about everything in my life. The truth about how I feel about myself in all aspects of, you know, like really kind of taking stock. And also in a very neutral way. It's not about judgment. It's just about being like, what is going on? Kind of like, you know, when you pull those messy drawers and you pull them out and you're like, okay, let's take stock. What's being shoved in the drawers? Because sometimes you forget. Sometimes you don't know. Okay. So we're going to start with that as a thought. Yeah, one of you loves Enya and blueberry ricotta pancakes. Beautiful. Sail away. I actually did an amazing cover of that song many years ago. I fucking love that song. It's a banger. I fucking love Enya. You know what? I love animals, so let's do a little chef. Ooh, I'm seeing this. Oh, hey now. The zebra. The zebra fell, and there was the lizard. Well, the lizard just shed his skin. Okay. I'll think about that. Hold on. I was meant to do a chef. Yeah. Confessions. Oh, because I was just asking myself, what's the difference between a confession and like telling the truth? But really it's about, oh, what was the word I just heard? Oh, acknowledging. Because with confessions, there seems to be this underlying suggestive feeling, for me anyways, that it's like below the surface, that if you're confessing something, it's because it's a little bit taboo or secretive, or like, yeah, you've put to the side and admitting and acknowledging how you really feel. Elk? Well, hello, daddy. He's a big boy. Okay, got some big boy energy here. This feels passion, because we're talking, oh boy, depths. Okay, so we got some big wants and desires here that are below the surface. Oof, yeah, because elk medicine, that's sexy business. And foxy. Yeah, this is very, I love this. Okay. And I saw that fox the other day. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so what is it that you want and desire in all areas of your life? Just you talking to you. And you can write it out and burn it. Like, nobody ever has to know, right? Like, just like a confessional box or booth. It's meant to just be held. Oh, you need a container. Yeah, maybe you need to actually create like a confessional or go to confession. I don't know. But there seems to be, but more it's about a container, something to hold. Oh, out of nowhere. Unnecessary. Are we done? There's a real tickle in there. Okay. Well, I'm also seeing someone just lay on the grass, the earth. Yeah, there's something about being held or having something to hold. Be a container. Oh, because you do need some kind of witness, but you don't necessarily need a human witness or even spirit, but you do need a container. because that's also a witness. Oh, but the going to the mirror, the reflecting. You're the witness to your own desires, wants and desires. And it's nice. It's, yeah, I'm seeing it also like a nest. Something to just, yeah, to hold. Okay, that's beautiful. What deck do we want to use for... Well, you know what? Oddly enough, I would say the deck that's actually right underneath this. Here, I'm gonna drop it like it's hot. Okay. And I did light a candle. I have this orange candle. Oh yeah, this is all sexy business. Okay, this is exciting. This is kind of nice. This is a little bit off the beaten path for us. We tend to go more love. Yeah, we haven't really talked about desires. Oh boy. I swear to God, I would love to know. It's probably mold, to be honest, that's in this room. I'm very allergic to mold. And it's only in this room. Okay. 1 second. 1 second, 1 second. I think I'd be smart enough to just bring in the toilet paper. Okay, here we are. Yeah, this deck is definitely gonna show some desires. Yes. Alright, hold on. Definitely gonna have to shuffle this up. Ooh, yeah, I'm very excited about this. Okay, well, Spirit, what else? What else? I'm hearing that song, We'll Start a Fire. Also, then I'm hearing the other 90s song, We Don't Need No Fire, Let the Motherfucker Burn. Ooh, okay, we have a lot of fire. Okay. And, yeah, orange. Look at all the yellow and orange. So confident. That confidence to speak our desires. To not be afraid to ask for our wants and desires. I love this. And foxes are orange. Interesting, but what's interesting though is that he's not colored in. We have a little bit of orange here. Oh, yeah. So maybe you don't know what all of your desires look like right now. Especially, I'm feeling sexual, but I would say still apply all of these questions, like honest, like just go through the whole list. Take a day, you know, to spend with yourself and just like reflect and treat it like a confessional. Say it out loud. Yeah, there's something about not thinking it. You need to say it out loud. Exactly, because if it stays in here, it's still like a secret. It's about bringing it out into a physical space. Ooh, the Chariot. Well, the Chariot is about taking control, taking the reins. It's about directing it, right? You're in control of the Chariot because that's the Emperor or Empress, you know? This person, she's in control. Just like you're in control of your wants and desires, but it's also up to you to understand, to acknowledge, and to figure out what that looks like. And also, as we grow and evolve as people, but also age, like, yeah, wants and desires ebb and flow, and people draw out in us different wants and desires. Okay, I love this. This is great. Four of Cups. You're not getting what you want and desire, but it may be because you're not asking for it. Like, here's even an example, and this has actually been a download for a while, and I kind of shelved it for a hot second. But Spirit had wanted to talk about, knowing ourselves, especially sexually. Now, there's a lot of conditioning that we get socially, spiritually, from our spiritual community, so it can be religious. But we're not really taught to ask ourselves, even if what we desire is our own desire. I think pornography can sometimes be a great example of that. Other people are kind of in charge of showing us what desires or things should look like, or that speak for all of us, and that's not necessarily the case. And we're kind of bombarded with a lot of, I would just say other people's ideas around what our desires should be and look like. And because we have for the most part, a lot of us have the Catholic guilt or like a religious shame-based experience of our bodies, of sexual desire, stuff like that. It can get real bent, or like anything that grows in the dark. As they say, you're only as sick as your secrets. Like when we let things fester and don't let it breathe, or at least discuss it. But my point being is that we also, I think, we have this kind of fairy tale lens that when we meet the right one, they just know how to please us on every single level and scale, that they're like psychic. And my experience has been that like everyone is coming from not only their own lens, but like their other partners. So like their partner's taste can vary, and they might bring that flavor in. So for an example, we were talking about kissing in one of my other readings, but the person who I literally, to this date, would say is like the best kisser I've ever kissed. It was like the most mind-blowing, transcendental, like spiritual experience, truly. Our first kiss, if I would have based it off of our first kiss, no. And it's interesting because in the comments yesterday or the day before, Drew Barrymore got brought up. And I loved Drew Barrymore as a youth, totally obsessed, totally in love. And so I read every interview that she did at that time. And I remember her talking about kissing, but she talked about really like telling her partners, her boyfriends, her crushes, or whoever she was having smoochies with, like really directing them to be like, no, this is how I like to kiss, or like this would be a bit more pleasing for me. So there's something here about you could miss out also on a great partner or experience with someone because there might be this underlying belief that like everyone should just know what is pleasing but to you. And if you don't know necessarily what's pleasing to you, like that's where it's really important to know how to communicate, and it's really hard. These are the things that really don't get taught. Like, my God, we're taking away sex ed, but like sex ed should also again talk about like emotional intimacy, how to talk about our needs and desires, consent, all of these things. So I don't think you're very happy right now with certain aspects of your wants, needs, and desires. Okay. So there's some anxiety, some fear. Well, that's what makes it intimate, right? It's about being vulnerable, telling people the things that you're into on all levels, right? Because it feeds it. This isn't just about sexuality, you know, sensuality, the erotic, the provocative. It's about all aspects of our life, because intimacy and being vulnerable is about being authentic. Yeah, and that's why we do see what I would call like a twisting and a bending of desire, because when people are truly afraid to speak their truth about what it is that they like, want, need, and desire, it comes out in funny ways, you know? And the idea that like you could be judged for that. Well, we are using the Queer Tarot deck, so perhaps for some of you it's even just around some kind of same-sex or more alternative, I don't know. You feel like you're all alone in this. If I've learned anything about this world, we are never alone. Yeah, you feel like an alien in this respect. And you're looking, but like, see, look at this King of Cups. This is what I mean. He's delicious. He's very aware of what they find pleasing and enjoyable. Okay. Wow. Oh, that's the King of Cups. Here's the Queen of Cups. Okay. Okay. Oh, is this like perhaps someone's first same-sex or like, I don't know, alternative? There's something here where it's like someone is really outside of the scope, out of pocket for you. But what really is behind, again, if you're to be honest with yourself, it's about love. This isn't just about, this supersedes desire. I don't think actually desire would be enough, but you do really desire this person. Okay. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Okay, so tell me about this person. Well, they're honest, they know how to communicate, and maybe that's what it takes, because again, we teach each other as partners, and like, you know, and people they drop very different things. Haven't you noticed that like some of the sex or physical intimacy that you have with people really varies? Yeah, the one date that I made last year that I canceled, he really opened up a part of me that I was like, huh. Now, mind you, after I made the date, I canceled the date. But what I was very intrigued by is that he very organically opened, like, he had his own desires that weren't something on my radar, but when he talked about it, I was like, okay. And again, he was very clear about what he liked and didn't like. But yeah, it's about communicating. Well, this is great because the person that you have strong feelings for, as well as wants, needs, and desires, they're honest and they know how to communicate. So you don't have to worry about that. And that's good. We have the Nine of Wands. I just see this with the Ace of Swords, like they shoot straight from the hip. Like I just see someone who's very direct. Someone who does not fuck around. That's good, though, because I also feel like this is a person who knows how to set boundaries. Again, you want really good boundaries, really clear communication. Oh, and they're passionate. Yeah. Okay, so why is this new or different or something that you need to admit to yourself? The Six of Swords. It's definitely a new direction for you. Okay. And see, it is headed towards this rainbow. I'm going to say there's something very alternative about this relationship. Okay. Yeah, the Ace of Cups to the Moon. This is what I mean. What's this? The Three of Pentacles. Yeah, like, it's a different direction, but man, it's really love-based. Like, there's something about this person that you're attracted to. It has you in all the feels, but again, it's like deep desires. Going back to the Whale, it's incredibly deep, below the surface. And Whale, it's a water, so it's elemental. It's emotional. Ooh, I'm feeling the sacral. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of love and passion here. So, what next? These two cards. Oh, oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Celebration Station to the Two of Cups to the Knight of Cups. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to speak out your truth and desires to yourself out loud. You're going to take it from here and here out. You're going to speak it into existence and make it real. There's something about as soon as you say it out loud, it comes in. Like you're both facing each other. Passion and love. It's going to be steamy. And I feel like this is Miso Kitty. There's a young lad who has a cat named Miso. He calls his cat his daughter. I love him. Anyway, so I always see that cat now as Miso Kitty. So we have this cat overseeing. Yeah, see, I'm seeing. And even if it's not same sex, God, we're seeing the racial divide. So, you know, so to have like oh God, what's the word? You know what I mean. One of you is white, one of you is black. Or any, culturally, it can just be different, because again, it can be religious. It's a different direction for you. One of you may have grown up incredibly religious. Interesting. Okay, hold on. So I want to put these cards. Okay, so now that we have the scoops here, I want to know. Okay, so I want a card for you. Okay, who are you? What card represents you? Who are you? Two cards want to come out. Oh, you're burdened by the truth. It's a burden to you. Oh my God, the burdens have been really coming up. Oh my God, is this a continuation? Oh, geez. Well, whatever. Take it as a resonance. It could also just be the word of the day. Oh, the Canadian show, Fred Penner, The Word Bird, the word of the day. Well, perhaps you're Canadian watching right now. Oh, this truth is a burden to you, but you're going to put it down. Okay. Okay, so this is your energy right now. Yes. Okay, so who is your person? Let's go back to them. Like, we know that you're in the King of Cups for this person. That person's the Queen of Cups to you. But who are they? The Fool. Yeah, there's something about not seeing the differences or not seeing what divides. It's about seeing through, again, the heart. Because your desires also live in your heart. Yeah. And they're a new beginning. And they don't think about it. They just take a leap of faith. They're just like, great, I love you. Let's go. Oh, yeah, look at this. The Star to the Empress. Oh, my goodness. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Weird. I just had an email pop up, and I thought I saw what said consume. This person consumes your thoughts. Exactly. You, I don't know, you feel and sense each other. Yeah, like, every now and again when I step into, that's when I can feel this, like, sacral fire. Oh, we don't need a... Oh, we don't need no water. That's what it is. We don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn. Oh, isn't that by the song Rancid? Yeah, we don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn. We don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn. Okay, so what I'm being shown with this... Yeah, different worlds for sure. I see two people from two very different worlds that get plucked. You're put into your own, like, your own confessional booth, like this, its own container. This special world that's just for you. You step out of both of, yeah, there must be something here around communities, whether it's religious, political. There's something where it's like, yeah, like an elk and a whale coming together. Yeah, two different elements, two different types of people. But yeah, the elements of the fire and the water, the Knight of Cups to the Knight of Wands. Sorry, that was very difficult for me. And somehow you just trust. It's like you just tune out. You get honest and you trust the truth. You trust your heart. You trust this person. And it's like the din of the world, all of that background noise, all of people's opinions. Yeah, opinions are like assholes and everybody's got one. Salt and pepper. Yeah, salt and pepper. Exactly. If I want to take a guy home with me tonight, it's none of your business. If she want to be a freakin', sell it on the weekend, it's none of your business. Yeah. Okay, so this is about something here. Okay, so you step into this world where you can exist. Oh, you guys are so attracted to each other. Yeah. Oh my god. The King of Wands to the Queen of Wands. Back to the fire and water. It was the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups. You are about to be loved. and have the type of sex, like physical, sex isn't even an appropriate word. It's just like the physical intimacy and the physical chemistry that you're gonna have, as well as like the actual love. You've never known anything like this. It's not of your world, nor is it from this person, and it's coming from you two. It's so unassuming. You would never see this, not in a million years. What is this card? Come here. You're sticky. The sun. This is what I mean, but I really see it as you two. Yeah, I don't know. Oh my god, get out of here. Two very different people. I don't know. And it's like when you two come together, it's like nothing else exists, but not in a weird, toxic, codependent way. I don't know. I just keep being shown like the din, like a big, loud city like New York. And then it's just like as soon as you're both picked up, these two very loud, differing worlds, but very loud, meant to have influence over you and dictate what it is and who it is that you should be in this world, who you should be, who you should want, who you should desire, what your desire should look like. Yeah, and then it's like you get plucked and you just create this world. And because there's no outside influence, and you two just are just being who you just naturally are, and both of you draw out the realest, most authentic, genuine, but highest and greatest versions of yourself. Okay, and it's the sun. Beautiful. Okay, well, what's this about? Oh, a lot of people are going to be upset. Again, crabs in the pot. That you're taken off the market. But not only that, but again, look, she's thriving in an environment that is, again, a lot of people would say like, oh, the desert, it's, nothing lives there. It's, you know, it's arid. Yeah, like you're thriving somewhere where you shouldn't be. That all these people told you that you couldn't, that you would die, or like something terrible would happen. Yeah, all these people have to eat shit. Oh, boo-hoo. Yeah, kind of almost like the rapture. I remember the last rapture. I was in New York. Yeah, all these people leading up to the rapture. Oh, God, people literally on their little soapboxes at all the subway stops. Yeah, and a lot of people the next day when they realized, because some people had given away all of their savings, and we're seeing this. I saw it on the internet last night. People are giving away all of their money and items because they really believe that they're about to be with Sky Daddy right now. Yeah. Yeah, for some people, there are painful truths. Okay, well, don't worry about it because you're going to be living your best life. Okay. So, is there anything else, Spirit, that we need to talk about? Back to this. Okay, well, you're directing it. You're the director. You're the conductor. This is the other message I keep hearing. We all think that we're in the orchestra, that maybe we're just the flautist amongst a bunch of flautists, that we're just the timpani, the drum guy. No, my guy, you're the fucking conductor. You're the big boss. You get to decide, because this is your life, and you get to be whoever the fuck you want. You can love whoever you want, so long as it's not a child, an animal, you know? Yeah. And like go towards, but I feel like you have to take it out of here. There's something about speaking it into existence, making it real for you. Back to Miso Kitty. Oh, back to that Knight of Wands. Yeah. And that also that you can have both. One doesn't negate the other. That you can be someone that you're madly in love with and still have your sexual fantasies and desires. And it can be understood. You know? Ooh, okay. Well, I'm going to leave it there. That was fun. Saved by the Bell. Beautiful. Okay. Well, on that note, stay blessed, stay golden. I'm excited for you. Okay.